Imagine walking down a narrow cobblestone street in an old European city. The fog is hanging low, lanterns flicker on stone walls, and suddenly your eyes catch a strange carving above a doorway, a five-pointed star. To most people it's just a shape, but to others, it carries centuries of hidden power. This is the world of occult symbols, mysterious emblems that whisper secrets of ancient wisdom, forbidden rituals, and universal truths. And today, we're going to decode some of the most iconic ones, from the pentagram to the all-seeing Eye of Horus. When we talk about occult, we're not just talking about dark rituals or scary movies. The word simply means hidden. Symbols have always been the language of the hidden, a way to express what can't be easily said out loud. Long before we had books and Google, people communicated their deepest spiritual truths through images. These symbols crossed borders, survived wars, and were passed on in secret societies. They carry layers of meaning, from the very simple to the profoundly cosmic. Let's start with the pentagram. 5 points, connected by straight lines, forming a star. If you draw it without lifting your hand, it flows in one continuous motion. That's not just pretty geometry, it's an expression of balance. In ancient Greece, the pentagram was associated with the philosopher Pythagoras and his followers. They saw it as a symbol of harmony and mathematical perfection. Each point was connected to the 5 elements: earth, fire, water, and the mysterious 5th element, spirit, or ether. But walk into a medieval church in Europe, and you might find the pentagram carved into stone arches or painted into stained glass windows. Here, it symbolized the 5 wounds of Christ. To Christians of the Middle Ages, the pentagram was holy, a protective sign against evil. The same symbol, same shape, but an entirely different meaning. This is what makes occult symbols so fascinating, their ability to shapeshift across cultures. Now, let's move east to Mesopotamia and Babylon. The pentagram was used on clay tablets as a symbol of imperial power, marking directions and dominance over the known world. Fast forward 1,000 years, and in the hands of magicians and alchemists, the pentagram becomes a tool of ritual magic. Turn it one way, with a single point upwards, and it represents spirit ruling over matter, the triumph of higher consciousness. Flip it upside down, and suddenly it's associated with darker forces, with the material overshadowing the spiritual. That's why in modern pop culture, the inverted pentagram is often linked to Satanism. But remember, that's only one interpretation of a symbol, with an incredibly long history. Now, imagine walking through the temples of ancient Egypt. The desert sun is blazing, and carved into the walls is a symbol that seems to watch you, a human eye, stylized, with a distinctive line extending outward. This is the Eye of Horus, known as Wedget. It's not just a decorative image. It was believed to have protective power, guarding against evil and illness. Sailors would paint it on their boats to ensure safe journeys. Amulets of the Eye of Horus were worn in life and placed in tombs for the afterlife. The story behind it is just as powerful. Horus, the falcon-headed god, battled Set, the god of chaos. In the struggle, Horus lost his left eye, which was later restored by the god Thoth. That eye became a symbol of healing and wholeness, of something broken being made complete again. Every curve in the Eye of Horus has mathematical significance. The parts of the eye were even used as fractions in ancient Egyptian mathematics. So here we have a single image that carries healing, divine power, and mathematical precision. That's the genius of occult symbols. They compress whole worlds of meaning into a single design. But what happens when these ancient emblems get carried forward? The Eye of Horus didn't stay locked in dusty temples. Look at modern currency, the US dollar bill, for instance. At the top of the pyramid, you'll see another eye, the all-seeing eye, or Eye of Providence. Many people connect it back to the Eye of Horus. Whether it's a coincidence or a deliberate echo, the idea remains the same: a higher power, watching, guiding, protecting, or perhaps controlling. The symbol shifts depending on who uses it and how it's framed. This brings us to something crucial. Occult symbols are never static. They're like mirrors, reflecting the mindset of the culture that adopts them. When Freemasons embraced the all-seeing eye, it symbolized the watchful eye of God and divine providence. In conspiracy theories today, it's seen as a sign of surveillance, manipulation, and hidden elites. Same image, different worlds of meaning. Now, let's pause for a moment. Think about how these symbols show up in your everyday life. Jewelry with pentagrams, tattoos of the Eye of Horus, logos that secretly borrow from ancient emblems. These aren't just decorative, consciously or not. They connect us to a long chain of human history. Wearing one of these symbols is like carrying a piece of ancient wisdom on your skin. It's a way of saying, I see beyond the surface. I connect with something larger. But here's the challenge, because symbols can mean many things. They can also mislead. Take the pentagram again. For one person, it's a sign of balance and protection. For another, it's a terrifying image of dark magic. The interpretation depends on the lens you're looking through. That's why decoding these symbols is about more than just history. It's about perspective. And once you start noticing them, you'll see them everywhere. Think about Gothic cathedrals with stained glass symbols, medieval grimoires filled with strange diagrams, or even modern movies and music videos loaded with hidden imagery. The use of occult symbols has always been about power: the power to inspire, the power to protect, the power to frighten, or the power to control. And the deeper you go, the more connections you find. The pentagram and the Eye of Horus are not isolated. They connect with other emblems: the Ankh, symbol of eternal life in Egypt; the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its tail, symbolizing eternity and rebirth; the hexagram, known as the Star of David but also used in alchemy. Each one forms part of a vast network, a secret language that humans have been speaking for thousands of years. So why do these symbols still matter today? Because they touch something primal in us. They speak to universal ideas: balance, healing, protection, transcendence. Whether you believe in their mystical power or not, the fact is, they've shaped religions, guided empires, and inspired revolutions. They're not just drawings. They're keys to understanding how humans have always tried to connect with the divine, the infinite, the unknown. As we wrap up this journey, remember this: when you next see a star etched into stone, or an ancient eye staring back at you from a museum display, don't just pass by. Pause, look closer, ask yourself, what hidden meaning does it carry? Whose hands carved it, and why? What wisdom from centuries ago is still alive in that simple shape? The answer might not be obvious, but the mystery itself is the point. Symbols invite us to explore, to wonder, to see the world with deeper eyes. So, the next time you spot a pentagram or the Eye of Horus, remember, you're not just looking at lines and shapes. You're staring into a portal, a connection across time, where human imagination, faith, and mystery all converge. And that's what makes occult symbols so endlessly fascinating. They are living bridges between the past and the present, between the visible and the hidden, between what we think we know and what remains a mystery. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Share this video with a friend who loves a good mystery. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next story. There's a lot more to uncover, and I'd love to have you along for the journey.